Let's give Tincho another shot. And my light turned off. Let's see if I can take care of it really quick. Haha! Slightly inoptimal. I thought that guy despawned for a second. Speaking of despawning, I believe my special meter item just decided that it doesn't exist. Oh my god. What a speed run this is. All of this is actually so bad. Thanks, game. It did the thing where it just suddenly put me in a different direction for some reason. I think I just saved the super all the way until the bridge now. Yeah, I think I do. Because it's not going to be enough to use it even before that, and then... I'm not making any sense. What else is new? Just come a little bit farther, please. And I can't hit him with my first 2 attacks to save my life. Try and line this up. I'm too high. Yep. Just barely. And that works to spawn these guys, at least. It's just this guy has so much health. And this guy refuses to actually come down to my level. Still save time compared to not using the super there. But, whoops, the entire rest of the stage was really bad. Yeah, we can do better. Alright, Tincho. Let's see what we've got. Get away from being alive. Sorry. That's really mean. But beat 'em ups. That's just the way life is. And, okay, maybe that one just doesn't actually spawn a special super meter item. Go for her first. I'm getting a lot of random turnarounds right now. Oh, I got them both. Interesting. I wasn't expecting that. Pretty good so far. Alright, save the super. Save the super. It's tempting to use it on these higher HP enemies, but save it. You need it for the bridge. I cannot hit this guy. Again, a random turnaround. I'm not sure if it's my stick going bad or what. Oh, it happened again! It's happening like every time! That's weird. Oh my goodness, what a move by that guy. And he's too high all of a sudden. Okay, let's try and dash. I can't dash. And I faced the wrong. Okay, this run sucks now. That's so stupid. There's something wrong with my stick right now. Okay, God, that stinks. That was really clean. First, I can't dash after like 6 attempts, and then I can't press left. What just happened? Okay, every single time I stop my dash now, it does that. On command, it did it again. Okay, it didn't do it that time, but it's happening a lot. Oh, you're still alive. Okay, you're the sudden extra health guy. This is a speed run. This is a speed run. Dashing is really weird sometimes. I'm stuck on something, I can't tell what. This is a weird run. Already. Alright, save the super. Oh. My stick is just like not working right now. Alright, let's try and actually face left this time. Okay, nice. That's better. Kind of a weird start, but I'll take it. Beware of bees. Let's flap! This reminds me of high school. Ow. No, middle school, actually. That prompt finally went away. Nice. Okay, that kind of worked. What? The invincibility and the hitboxes in this game sometimes. Ow. Let's go after them first, because everybody else is just not cooperating. That was interesting, but I guess it was okay because I took care of the Isabels. Have fun, my friend. Oh, oops, all Isabels. This is fine with me. As long as I can actually hit them. Yay. Don't feed Dark Foxes. I don't need that. Unnecessary time loss, just stopping for a moment. Let's see if I can get any despawns here. I have a bad feeling. Yeah, that didn't work. Yay! Maybe I should have taken that health. Oh my god. What is going on? All I have to do is just run up right. You don't even have to fight the Dark Foxes, do you? Right. Oh, I'm a fool. Oh my god. Pretty terrible fight so far. That's better. Now we gotta wait. Yep. Oh my god. I'm gonna die as well. Yeah, I should have taken the health. I should have taken the health. It's just impossible to dodge this stuff, especially as Tincho. Yeah. Yeah, there's nothing I can do. And now he's gone for no reason because I re-entered the room. That's just an absolutely god-awful end of the fight. I'm resetting. Because I'm gonna run past the Dark Foxes part next time. Oops. You can't press start to start the game, you have to press A. I just learned. I should do that a little bit higher so I can actually hit this at the same time. Oh, you were still alive. Where did my punch go? It's only gonna hit one. Nice. I think the kangaroos are next. Yep. We are saving our super. Yeah, whatever. I should learn to use my breaker attack for invincibility there. Nice, weird turnaround with the stick. Yeah, like that. Except sometimes it locks you in the animation because it glitches. Alright, let's try and do this right. Nice. Run away! Run away! Miami! This reminds me of high school. Middle school, actually. Interesting RNG here. I like how the prompt just suddenly decides, okay, we've been falling for several years. Maybe it's time for this thing that happened a million years ago to go away now. Yeah, you can't get the health. It's hilarious. Should have gone after the Isabels first. Stop it. Whatever. You should maybe be better at this game, you know? Have you considered that? That was really bad. Oh my god, I got the glitch with my... It happened twice in a row. I'm dead. Okay, I mean, just what am I gonna do about that? I think my stick is acting up, or... I don't know. I have no idea what to say. How was that a dash? I had just stopped my dash. Are you kidding? A little frustrating what's happening lately. Let's just try running past all this. Dang it. How? Just barely again. Nope. Nope. What was that on the top left corner? Where? Okay. Now what? What? That has been working. No, maybe I was doing it. Okay, I think I remember. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Maybe that's what I was doing. And here they come. Time for me to probably die again. There's just nothing you can do about these, especially when you're as giant as Tincho is. God knows where he is. Yeah, see, that hit me when I was way on the other side of the screen laterally. And that. I wasn't even close on any part of the screen there. Okay, whatever. Let's go! I can't believe I died on stage 1 with Tincho. Holy freaking cow. Okay, bye. I didn't mean to get that, but okay. That's so satisfying when you get that many enemies at once. Nice. You love to hit absolutely no one. At least it's full again. But it was just an absolute massive waste. The Great Wall of Pink! I get so excited every time. Oh god, that was so close to being okay, and then it sucked. And now he's gone. Okay, he came back! What a homie! I'm surprised they didn't get the Isabel on the top there. Should have gone after you first. Bad routing. That hit one person. How did that not hit the Dark Fox? What? I thought the Dark Fox was the thing I was in line with most. Huh. Okay then. Yeah. I guess that's a consistent spawn. Oh, nice miss. Nice. Nice spawn. What? Oh, the hitboxes in this game. Okay, that makes sense. Okay, I have some super here. Yeah, Isabel first, Isabel first. You just had no interest in us, huh? You had 1 pixel of health left. Ha! Okay, that was better. Oh, hello. I'm gonna save my super for the boss fight. That was a bit of a slow ending there. Whoops. I mean, I guess that kind of works. Yeah, I said I'd save my super for the boss fight, and maybe I'm an idiot right now. We'll see how many more enemies there are. Okay, I think I'm fine. Whew, that was a little scary. Impromptu decision. Go, 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 go! Yeah, the Dark Foxes, there's something weird with them. And there's something weird with these. What? Okay, then. Perfect timing with the music. Alright, let's just let them do their little dance and then get in position. That actually hit me. Nice. That's gonna save some time. What? What? No way! No way! How did it knock me over that time? Whatever. That only cost me like 5 seconds, but it absolutely blew my mind. Oh my god. Oh, this game sometimes. I don't even know if I can really blame it for that. It might have just been me. Here come the penguins. Haha, you idiot! Should have gone for I'm the idiot. I should have gone for Isabel first. Ah, it's just so tempting. The penguins are right there, and they're so fun to hit, and they're scary too. Thank you. Let's go for you first, actually. That wasn't really first, was it? And inoptimal for movement as well. That worked out pretty well. That guy's gonna body me. He tried to. He waited a very lenient amount of time there. Yeah, I didn't hit any of them there. Oops, all go for men persons. Haha, I barely dodged you. That was surely my intent. I hate your spawning position so much, though. I tried. Nice moonwalk. I can't do that again if I tried. How did I do that? Alright, here we go. Here's this wave. Got a decent amount of them. Oh, that stinks. Probably could have gone worse, though. Run! I wonder if it's faster to just do jabs, honestly. Like, I did see that in a video. Hard to say. Let's give it a shot, honestly. With his jab strength, maybe it is. It's more streamlined, that's for sure. Video gaming! I tried to run around, but okay. Sweet. Ah, that was a little worrisome for a moment. Okay. Very nice. That was also worrisome for a second. No split there, no split. Okay, so here I just have to do this. Okay. We're in an interesting dance here. Yes, the iframes on this and so many other things in this game are a little bit difficult to figure out. Nice. I don't remember if I had that in the previous run, so that'll be interesting to see. But I don't have a split for it, so yeah, I'm not sure exactly what this is going to be all about. Boom. Goodbye. And then this happens! And we never actually see the aftermath of it. I assume it's just too terrible for children. And then the desert! Yay! Did you know that the land where the game takes place is called... I'm sorry, I'm too slow. We'll never know. Nice, that worked out. That was interesting movement. Nice. Yeah, I figured. Sorry. Hello? I was facing... The game said I was facing right. I absolutely do not believe it. I absolutely do not believe it. I did one of those... Yeah, I did that again, I believe. The stick... I don't know if it's my stick or if it's something weird in the game's detection where it's, like, flicking to the other direction right at the last frame. Not sure. Yeah. Again, I don't know why that's happening. Yeah, I'm completely removing my thumb from the stick. There's no way that my thumb is accidentally doing that at the end. It's just happened. It's just doing it on its own. Why? Okay. Let's go! Let's see if we can actually do some jumps this time. Yay. Yay. I hope everybody's doing well. Thank you so much for watching this far. My internet completely blew up today. Well, it'll probably be okay. Something's going up with, I think, my computer, actually. But it's a little weird on the entire network. We'll see. But I really wanted to stream today, and that didn't seem to work out very well. So I'm just doing this locally. I'm just recording this. Hopefully, if it finds its way to you, that you're having a good time. And hopefully, this ends well, and so I actually post it somewhere. It didn't start that well. But here we are. I didn't mean to do that. I keep forgetting that the attack button is so high up on the controller. So that was a really dumb time loss. What? Oh yeah, she hit me, okay. Don't think I need that. You can combo into your dash attack if you get weird screen scrolls. Or combo out of your dash attack, I should say. Not sure if that's faster. It's probably comparable, if I had to guess. Yeah, I didn't realize until it was too late. The tree leaves kind of messed with me. Okay, bye. Yeah, you're now off the screen, so I can't do anything about you. You took out both. No, okay. And okay. This is all very strange. That was all. By pretty strange, I mean pretty bad. That was better. Thankfully, the Dark Foxes all have the same amount of health. Okay! Sudden cutscene! Almost 3 minutes ahead here. I think I have to press start a couple times to actually get this to work. I love the extra reverb, the treble reverb in this place on the hits. The slaps! Thank you. I don't know why he didn't shoot me there. You gonna run, or are you not? Okay. Sudden low health enemies. Fast Hot Llama. Hot Llama is such a good name. Fire on the left for some reason. You almost got me. Health. I haven't been using any of my supers. I don't think there have been that many good situations for it. That didn't seem bad, though. That works out just fine. And only Maki could be this stupid. Or relatable. Both, maybe? Okay, let's try and lock in on these dash attacks. And immediately fail. And immediately fail again. No super attack for this. Maybe I should have saved it. That was interesting. I didn't even have to wait for a kick that time. Oh my god, it's just, so unclean. I didn't mean to do that. Okay, we're fine. That's actually in frame this time! Yay! Okay, still saving time, even though I didn't have a super that time. He hits Nubis pretty hard, as it turns out, just without it. And the saddest frickin' part of the game to me, just befriend him! Befriend him! Who knows? If Isabelle thinks that she's a rattlesnake, then she's a rattlesnake! Let her do it! I don't know. Alright, time for annoying robots with super armor and ranged attacks and not cooperating this. And being off the side of the screen so you can't do anything. Yeah. And they stop at such a perfect range, too. Of course you were just... they cost me like 10 seconds right at the end. By perfection. I'm so eloquent. It's ridiculous. Okay, in we go. Don't have to worry about all these red herrings. Robot snakes! Alright, so just the single jabs are probably definitely best for these people. Nice. And you barely clipped my toe! Thank you! Off we go. Backwards. Okay, good. And bad. And bad. And bad, yeah. Perfect ranging. And bad. They can't cooperate. Where are you going? I'm losing so much time here. What in God's name are they doing? Are you broken? I'm over here! What was any of that? I guess they didn't knock me down 20 times, but I kind of wish they would have actually pretended that I exist. So I could have done something. Wow. Now this went amazing in my personal best, so I imagine I'm going to be losing time here. Yeah, I managed to hit them all at the same time last time. That's not happening this time. Still not bad. Let's grab this stuff on the way by. I did not lose time. Wow, okay. I guess that first wave indoors went so well. Now this might be tough. We'll see. This didn't go well in PB though. Oh my god. It's hard for that to go actually quickly. Now we gotta skip one. Let's try and get the Dragon Twins together this time. And keep them together! Just remembering that I raged at the first fight. Oh my god. Oh my god. Okay, don't get hit. How did Righty not take that much damage? What?! These guys are continuing to blow my mind. Again, it could have been a lot worse, and I think there was a glitch visually with Righty's health bar again. That has happened before. I went the wrong way. I'm so mad. Just throw away 10 seconds for no reason. Speed running! The room looks entirely the same all the way through. I missed. That's wild how he's completely unhittable during that time. I hate this. Because he's so slow! Oh my god, I'm gonna die. But you have to be close enough to goad him into that. I missed my dash. Oh. Yeah, and one hit away. Well, that was absolutely god-awful. I'm probably gonna die to Linksy somehow. At least now I know this time I need to go right. That was just an absolute disaster. It's so freaking... It's actually difficult to do that fight at all with control with Tincho. I guess we're going this way. I actually might lose a lot of time here because I think I might have had my super for him. Maybe not. Anyway, we're okay. I wondered if one part of that attack did more damage than the other, but they seem to do the same amount. Yeah, I don't think sub 50's happening, unfortunately. Hopefully I didn't, like, choke it away at Anubis. Entirely possible. Yeah, I'm not on pace for it. I'd have to go obscenely fast on the final boss. Which, you know, I've only done it once with Tincho before, so you never know. But I think I need to be splitting now to have a chance. And we still have quite a bit of this fight to go. One more hit. Yeah, this didn't seem to go as well as it did in PB. Yeah. Yeah, everything else except for the Dragon Twins, I think, went worse. And nice glitch again. So we can use the super. I will try not doing the combo on the hands. I will just try doing jabs. I have to try something different to see if I can actually do this faster. But it doesn't look good. And I can't skip this. I'm so hyped! That hit- oh my god, he's so huge. Ow, 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 ow. Okay, so we did that. Oh, nice. This is going great. So I'm probably gonna lose a crap ton of time on the split after this because I did my special. And I barely saved time on this split! Oh no. Yeah, this is not happening. But it's still gonna be a big PB with Tencho, so there's that. Not all is lost. I'm getting locked in the animation. I missed my jump. Yeah, I actually got the super to do a lot more damage on the second phase, I guess. Or maybe it's going slower because I'm not doing the regular combos. That's a shame either way. Let's try doing the regular combos on the last phase. How did that hit me? Oh, wow. Yeah, there goes the sub. 50. Why haven't I just done that before? What would possess me to not even think of that? It works every other time in the game. Why would I not do that? Oh my god, I'm such a silly willy. I'm such a silly willy. I can just do this I don't even have to move around. Except when that happens, I guess. Yeah! Why not just do that all the time? Dude! You can do attacks while the cutscene is starting. That's great. No sub 51 either. Wait, maybe? Yes! It's a 50. Okay. So the boss battle went a lot better in the previous PB, but that is actually the fastest that Maki Paw of Fury has ever been completed to this point. The Maki world record is a 52. So, okay. World record. World record overall, but also a any percent Tincho world record. Unfortunate that I couldn't do this live, but I will definitely restream it, and then we'll see if Maki can push it even farther. Yeah, I absolutely biffed the Nubis fight in the refight. Hard to say if... Oh, did they add little metallic footsteps there? Or is that just the music? That would have been an incredible touch. I'm not entirely sure, based on inconclusive evidence, whether or not it's faster to just do regular jabs instead of doing the combo. They might be pretty equal. The end? Yeah, I lost 30 seconds after a only marginally faster first phase after using the super, so I'm not sure exactly what happened there, but you know, whatever. And now I know that I can make better use of the breaker and its invincibility to dodge damage during the final boss fight. So we'll take a look at that. Yeah, sub 50 is right there, man. We'll see if I can do it. We'll see which character I do it with first, Maki or Tincho. I don't think sub 1 hour is possible with Maka. Poor girl. The speedster who is by far the slowest. And right now, the big slow tank is the fastest character in the world. In the world. In Maki Paw of Fury. Thank you so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Sorry I yelled a couple times. Yeah. Hope I was engaging in any way. All the best, everybody. Dream on, folks. Peace. Thank you so much. Take care. Anyway, hi! I'm here, the stream is still going. Let's do this again. Okay, let's go back here. And then it continued, the stream continued because there was more to see. Sorry that my microphone was not muted, but it was engaged with the wrong audio source. Thank you for pointing that out, Zyzy. I was just commenting on the fact, as I was looking at myself in contemporary modern times for the first time, that I have even more of a tan than I did yesterday already. It was quite hot the last 2 days, and I made the most of that by being outside. Yeah, sorry about that, but the next few runs that I'm going to show from yesterday and this morning, I did not record commentary for in the moment, so I can provide that now instead of being in the chat and talking to you all and responding to you all and making comments. I can just do it right here. So now I'm playing as Maki. I was really curious because I felt like I learned a lot Yeah, this is actually me, like, live right now. Welcome. I hope everybody's been enjoying so far. Thank you all so much for being here. That's what I was saying right before I realized that there was no audio. And thank you again for notifying me. I'm playing as Maki now because I felt like I learned a lot from that Tincho run. I felt like I was gaining a lot of knowledge about crowd control, and with a faster character, I was really curious to see if I would be able to apply that in really meaningful ways. And you can already see, like, Maki requires 4 hits instead of 3. His jab is way weaker, and so immediately right off the bat I'm saying, okay, so just doing that jab technique is not going to be faster with Maki. So I'm just going to start out by doing a bunch of regular combos. These are all his normal attacks. None of these are including his special attack yet. I knew I was going to forget. Thank you. I had a little thing for that. Thank you so much for that as well. Commentary is now live. This is so good. This is so good. Welcome to Maki Paw of Fury with Serious Song. Everything is perfect all the time. It's a perfect game, played by a perfect person when the gameplay is perfect. But it's just incredible to be here with everybody. Zizy Squirrel pulling a lot of work in chat. Making sure this stream is actually, like, thank you. Like, if, oh man, you've ensured that, like, this is going to be watchable later, so thank you very much. I don't think I'm going to be relying on you as much for the rest of the stream, so don't worry. Although your presence is very much enjoyed. Ow, 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 his kidneys. Yeah, I guess I hadn't figured out that the jabs weren't that effective yet, but there I was making sure that I wasn't about to get surrounded on either side. That's something I'm going to start doing more often. And also in this room, I'm always going to save my super to use against all that entire party. Oh yeah, that's totally fine. Yeah, in all cases, using the super in this room is one of the biggest possible time saves for using a super attack in this game. Because those enemies holding the signs are pretty much the most unique enemies in the game, now that I think of it, and they have a ton of health each. And the super immediately takes every single enemy on the screen at the time, with Maki out. And now it's time to fall tens of thousands of feet again. Clipped it with my foot. Massive shame. Yeah, I still enjoy these mini-games. And I enjoy every music track in this game. And suddenly, slightly weaker enemies. You don't think you'd heard the music before? You mean in general? Like, the music hadn't been floating around anywhere? Or, like, you haven't really been picking it out in the streams? I assume the former. Before this particular stream, okay. Yeah, the game sound is a little bit quiet, usually. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's my fault. I technically can do something about it, especially the next run. I can bring the game audio up a little bit. It's up as far as it can go now. But in the next run, which you'll probably not be here for by the sound of things, but I can at least, like, send your way later, for if you ever have the time. I will try to nudge the game audio up a little bit beyond where it usually is. Yeah, all the Isabels in this section usually are hittable at the same time, and they're gaggles. Is there a name for a group of snakes? An official name, like a group of many animals have special names that I can't remember any freaking examples for right now. A flock. There's one. A flock of birds. Almost forgot that I knew that word. I know that there's one animal that a group of them is called a murder, which is so freaking metal. These are the sorts of riveting discussions you get to respond to live now that I'm here. Crows, yeah, crows, okay, murder of crows. So, does that mean that technically if you called it a flock of crows or a murder of crows, that both could be correct? Because bird flocks in general are usually called, that can be called flocks. Bird flocks can be called flocks. I'm not sure how many of you knew this. Again, aren't you so glad that this is the sort of thing you can respond to in chat? Both are correct. Sick, that's awesome. Good for crows. Shoutouts to the Black Feathers. But yeah, this fight is still annoying. Like, the second half of this fight with all the freaking gigantic hitbox rocks, spike rock mace things, and Sega consoles falling at you. They still are gonna hit you all the freaking time, and that can make Deathless very difficult right off the bat. But Maki is fast enough that he can at least get away a little bit, as long as they don't fall directly where you're moving, and then where you move to get away from things sends you directly into the perfectly timed attack of a Pankake. Or any other enemy that's sitting around. But it's okay, I guess. We're still at a little bit more than half health. This fight is... like, this fight alone makes Damageless feel absolutely impossible in this game. Just a hit or so away. Ornithologists don't usually use the silly names like murder. I kind of love murder, though. I can understand why it wouldn't be as practical to use in many scenarios, because I feel like it would instantly dislodge many conversations when people don't know that that's an actual term for a group of animals. Or because it just is so easy to, you know, bring up... I like how when they land there, you can see it flashes different character sprites there. Or it's just easy to think of the other meaning of the word murder whenever you hear the word murder. But when I think of the Black Feathers, I do think of the term murder being a good way to describe that group. Shoutouts to them once again. Context left unexplained. Rampage. I love Maki's voice so much. The sound, I think the sound design in this game. She got stuck on the tree! Oh man, you hate to see it. The sound design in this game overall really agrees with me. Once again, I'm going to take a look at the background here, because I normally never am able to really appreciate the details about this game aside from just like the enemies around me, because I'm having to focus so much on so many different details all at once that all pertain exclusively to playing the game quickly and avoiding damage and dealing as much damage as possible. Yeah, I'm just sticking with the tried and true normal combo here. I love this wave. Every single time, the wall of pink just absolutely annihilates me. Mentally. In a good way. Yeah, also, very belatedly, you wouldn't say fault, that's very fair. I wonder if that first split kick was intentional. Also, that guy's been hanging out for the better part of my life and not been in range the entire time. That was a good wave to use that for. One of the bigger waves of the game so far. A super well saved, and I'm already halfway full again. Here comes a spin dash! And he's gone. And he's back. One little sliver of health left. Alright, very surrounded here. Am I gonna... No, I'm not gonna move around. I think I'm gonna pay for a little bit. It's okay. I got good timing there. Didn't have to worry about too much. That wasn't super optimal, though. Do the combos do anything beyond points? I don't even know if they do anything for points. I think they're just there to say, this is how many hits you've done in a kind of relatively linked time period. It's just something to look at, I think. So, no. Not that I've noticed. It does? It gives you points? Oh, I haven't... Oh, wow. Thank you for calling me out when I tried to say something without actually knowing, because I haven't actually paid that much attention to it specifically yet. The last one gave you 8,000 and another gave you 10,000. Okay. Thank you. So they do at least do that, but they, to my knowledge, they do not do anything beyond that. I've gotten pretty good luck in this sequence. Now I'm suddenly having to... Okay, at least I have some meter there. I had to use some of it at the end to roll over the rocks. I don't think there's a way to lose that race, but you can lose health and meter. And it's pure luck how many times you have to roll over rocks and where they appear. So sometimes you can end that sequence with a full meter, which obviously is very nice for waves like this. But I just barely didn't have it in time. It's weird seeing a modern game with points. I'm trying to think, yeah. That's a pretty good way for it. I think I've jumbled around my ability of knowing offhand how many modern games might have or might not have points, because so many of the games that I play do have points, but I tend to play a lot of older games. And in some of my speedrun categories, getting points is the entire point of the challenge. Like in Joust, the category, well, one of the two categories now that I actually have a world record in is 100,000 points. And in the arcade version, as far as I know, is because the high score people don't actually pay attention to how long it takes for them to get certain scores. They've probably beaten the times that I have on Joust Arcade on speedrun.com, but I have the listed world records for that game as well. And those are also scored. Oh, one of the pancakes just always has to meander completely off the screen and sit there for 5 seconds. When I was right there, right next to him. Now we can just run away from these guys. Run away! Run away! Nice. Now I don't have a super for these guys, but I'm just gonna deal with that. Not sure how good of an idea it was to not save it for them at this point. I will say now, I think it was a bad idea to not save it for them. You can save a lot more time, like maybe 30 seconds or more, by using it here than you can just saving like 5 or 10 seconds by using it on a wave. And here I'm experimenting with my special move, seeing if I can deal a bit more damage or extend the combo. And that might actually... This is where I realize... Huh. Doing 2 hits with the regular combo and then 2 hits with the special seems to be doing possibly a pretty nice amount of damage. And I'm seeing that it shoots the guy up instead of sending them backward. So that's something for me to think about, and I'm probably about to start experimenting with that in this run with the regular enemies. Not yet. Maybe I'm just scared of this stage. To this point, I've been deathless. And I know this stage is where that gets really, really hard. Ow. Oh god, I'm perfectly surrounded. Oh no. There's health coming right up. If I can just survive this part. Okay. Can I get past this wave? Yeah, I'm starting to experiment with the other strategy now. Okay, we made it to the health. I didn't need to take the super meter thing. But yeah, I can take so much damage. Oh, I wasn't able to use my invulnerability in time. And I'm still surrounded. Yeah, that makes sense. And Maki takes a lot more damage than Tinsho, so it was easier to do a deathless run with Tinsho than it is with Maki, and especially Maka. Maka takes a lot of damage from getting sneezed on. Things only get harder and harder. Welcome, Lucy. Sorry, that was probably loud. Probably really, really loud. It's just, it's the way things are right now because I'm playing a pre-recorded thing that was very quiet and I didn't have enough time to create a new version of it with evened out audio beforehand. So my redeems are going to be really loud for now. But good to see you again. I hope you're doing well. Hopefully your ears are okay after that. I suppose I could turn off redeems whenever the sound is going to be way off like that, but that feels bad. It's, I don't want people to not be able to... Oh, wow, I didn't even see a pixel of health that guy had left. I don't want people to not be able to use them at all. You're getting yourself glasses next week? Oh, that sounds like fun. I hope that is how it's gonna be for you. I always have a little bit of fun thinking about going for a new style of glasses. The ones I have now are similar to the ones that I had in 2020. Because I always looked back to my videos from that time and was like, oh, I feel like I looked better then, and I think some of that might be the glasses. Now it kind of weirds me out slightly to see myself without these on. Oh, jeez. What the heck? What? Yeah, okay. These dark foxes are destroying me and setting me up perfectly to get... Okay, it looks like this is over. Unless I can do some perfect stuff here. Deathless is probably dead. Yeah, and there's another wave coming. Okay, I have a super. But more and more are coming. And we have to deal with some shooters. Right. Okay, did somebody just walk off the screen and not come back? We don't have any health, though. And this is the giant wave, and I used my super out of a little bit of panic. Okay, let's try and get around to the left. And, my controller stick did the thing that it kept doing in the Tincho run, where I let go of the stick, and it thought, okay, let me face you the opposite direction for no reason. And that actually cost me my life. That's okay, this is not a deathless or bust run, it's just something that I really wanted to do just for myself. We're still ahead, by possibly at least a minute here, of the Maki world record, and the Maki world record is about a minute and 45 seconds away from... Or sorry, a minute and 40 seconds away from the overall world record, which I just showed with Tincho. You prefer contacts? Glasses get in the way of so many things. For me, they help protect me with some things. I play tennis, where it's a bit of a pro and a con, where I do things in life where things could impact my eye, and glasses can protect me against that, but also if a tennis ball hits you square in the face, then it'll also be pushing the glasses into you, and it could also break the glasses, which is its own problem. I unfortunately did that to another person early in my tennis playing days, which sounds like such a, oh, in my tennis playing days, 30 years askance of this time. No, that was like 7 years ago or something. No, 5 or 6 years ago. I was point blank with another player, and I hit it overhead as hard as I could, a smash, and it went directly into the center of his face and into his eyes and his glasses, and I think about that moment a lot, and it like, oh, woe is me not being the one who got hit. I know, but that was just genuinely, I can't stand anybody in my life having a slightly negative experience around me, and me hitting somebody as hard as possible in the center of the face with a tennis ball did not feel good. We actually lost a significant amount of time there. Yeah, dying and things just not going as smoothly in general, and me not using the super against the biggest wave in the game all cost me some time there, compared to the previous Maki world record. And whenever I'm continually learning about the game and finding new strategies, it always feels bad to lose time. I'm usually only saving time in all these splits, which is really, I'm so spoiled at this point playing this game. Speaking of, now we're at the part of the speedrun where I can literally take one hand off the controller and drink some water. And I can just, like, open it with one hand. I'm not holding a controller right now, but that's what it would look like. Because I can just sit there and mash the button. And you can see, if you've just watched the Tincho run, how much faster it is to do this fight when you can do a lot more hits per knockdown. For whatever reason, Linksy breaks out of Maka and Tincho's hits, but not Maki's. But that fight went super well, so we're right back to the pace that we were on before I lost a bunch of time to the snow level. And now this scene. That kind of thing is just what happens in sports. And thankfully, the person that I hit, I forgot to say this, which is a kind of important element. He did nothing but try to soothe me after it happened, saying that's just a part of tennis. It happens, like, if it happens to me, it might happen to you. It could happen to anyone, and it's not your fault. He knew I wasn't freaking trying to do it, and he was... it left a gigantic freaking mark on his face, and he was down for about 10 minutes. We had to get some first aid for him, but he ended up playing the rest of the match with me. I can't remember who won, but I do freaking remember that. That part. That's one of the things from my tennis life that I'll remember the most. Like beyond my wins and losses, is the fact that I did some damage to somebody's face. But he was also super kind about it, and that's what he told me. Was it's just the sort of thing that happens. Pretty good luck with everybody except that guy coming out really quickly and making the wave go almost fast. I love those enemies. Yeah, to me, the desert is a huge step down in difficulty compared to the snow level. The snow level is snow joke. And there go all the rest of my subscribers. Oh, that feels bad. She was on fire and I was punching her in the face. She got double teamed there. Now, the fire from the hot llamas don't deal damage to any of the enemies. Like, the roadrunners can do friendly fire if they contact anybody as they're running across the screen. But that's not true of any other enemies in this game, I believe. Any other normal enemies. I'm really not managing this wave well, and everybody got super separated on complete opposite sides of the screen. I wasn't sure, I'm not sure how much I could have done to mitigate all that. And I'm trying to get this health, and oh my goodness. Whatever. It seems like we're still maybe saving, yeah, we're saving time here anyway. Okay then. 1-1-1 hype. This is also a minigame where I can kind of take a mini break mentally. This is probably the easiest of all the minigames. The racing one is the one that just kind of bodies you the most, no matter what you do. But the most taxing one is probably And the one that matters, like, the only one that isn't like an auto-scroller is the canon one. So that's the one you really have to nail for a speedrun purpose. But that one's pretty fun, I think. Yeah, I just, like I say, over and over, I have no problem with the minigames. They're nice little short things, and they're just solidly made ideas. And now Isabelle is out of the screen where I can actually contact. White Wolf C! Thank you so much for raiding with a party of 5, and it was so nice for the sound alert to actually work. Sorry if that was, again, incredibly loud because I had to turn the desktop audio way up compared to usual because I'm watching something pre-recorded. Welcome to everybody from White Wolf's stream. My name is Saria. I am a variety streamer. I do lots of speedruns, especially of retro games, especially from the franchise of River City Ransom or Kunio-kun. This is not from River City Ransom or Kunio-kun, but this is a speedrun I did yesterday. Oh, I just got nailed by a roadrunner. Don't take that out of context. This is just an indie beat-em-up title from 2024 called Maki, Paw of Fury, and this is a run I did of it yesterday because my internet wasn't working, so I couldn't stream yesterday, but I still wanted to do runs, and so this is the result of that. I just showed a run before this with a different character, the big buff tank character, and actually got the fastest recorded time of this game known in the world, the overall world record, and it was a 50-minute and 59-second run with the character Tincho. And so I wanted to go back to my favorite character to play with, the main character, Maki. So far, I'm the only runner of this game that I know of in the world. It's a relatively unknown game, and what it is known for is not for being, unfortunately, a very good game. It's straightforward and simple, as many say, to its detriment. There's another beat-em-up that I like that I actually ran at AGDQ this year, Rough City, which is much the same, incredibly simple and straightforward, but also more difficult, more punishing, and a lot shorter. The levels in this game are a lot longer. This is more reminiscent of a regular beat-em-up where when you die, you start right back where you were, and you have longer enemy waves and longer stages and bosses at the end of all the stages, but the bosses are all incredibly easy to just completely negate. The enemies, some of them don't really do anything to you, they just walk around and even walk off the screen instead of engaging you. The enemies all have a lot of health, but they usually don't deal much damage to you, and they don't all try to hit you at the same time most of the time. So you're the one basically doing everything. I find this incredibly fun, personally. I just love walking around and hitting buttons and smacking people around because that's how I grew up. I grew up a Kunio-kun superfan, and one of my favorite speedruns to do is one of the weirdest speedruns. Like, it's, the River City Ransom world record holder, I think, calls the Downtown Special speedrun, like, the most disappointing Kunio speedrun. Because the game itself is just so freaking janky, but I love the simple act of running around a game map and smacking people in the face with giant wagons over and over and over and over again. I just find that so satisfying, and that's what this game and speedrunning it reminds me of. And so I feel like the sort of person that the games Rough City and Maki, Paw of Fury were kind of made for. That's a lot of words. Sorry if I just talked your ears clean off of your heads. Thank you again for the raid, White Wolf. I hope that you had an amazing stream. If you don't mind me asking, what were you up to? I know that streams are very much about the streamers, but I feel a little awkward not even really talking about you at all yet. Welcome, Lady Valeria, Aragornska, and White Wolf, of course, everybody from that stream. And thank you so much for the follow. But yeah, I don't only do speedruns, I also do casual playthroughs. I just did my first ever playthrough of a Mystery Dungeon game in general, and my first ever Pokemon Mystery Dungeon game. I did Explorers of Sky. That was my latest thing before this. And yeah, this game was recommended to me by a friend, and I've been enjoying it for the last few days. Yeah, I did. Yeah, just as I said, this was passed on to me by, I believe, yeah, Zizi brought this to my attention. And yeah, another indie, recent furry beat 'em up, Ice. Welcome. Good to see you as well. Hope you're doing great. White Wolf says, Voices of the Void, silly niche game about satellite base maintenance with a lot of anomalous things happening. That sounds super cool. Yeah, that sounds really timely as well. I don't know when it was released, but it sounds like the sort of game that has a lot of interest lately. So I used my... Yeah, that was a very effective super. I don't know what I just said meant. I had an idea in my head of what I meant, of why that game feels timely, and I'm having trouble articulating it. But also, just look at the person on screen. It's... what am I saying with that either? I don't know anything that's coming out of my mouth or what it means right now. But the Nubis fight is almost already over because I have just, in the middle of doing that fight, found the perfect strategy against him. And that thing is always just out of reach whenever you put him on the right side. Maybe I should take him to the left side instead, but that's a bit inoptimal for starting the fight. Also, we're almost 2 minutes ahead now, and what I was saying was I accidentally just found the perfect strategy for that fight, because Maki, as it turns out, is actually fast enough to get around his little ankle kick, and while you're doing that, you might as well dash, because his dash attack actually immediately puts Nubis into that wounded, stunned state, where before I was just dancing around and doing jabs, which sometimes can immediately put him into the stun state, but usually doesn't. But the dash attack always does, and so finally I did a Nubis fight where I was always doing dash attacks, and that made it go incredibly quickly. Voices of the Void is still in early access and has a fun game loop. Okay, so it's a very new one. That sounds great. I hope you had an amazing time. I'll have to check it out, at least, like, looking it up. I don't... It's funny, like, a lot of the games that I play are games that I have already played. I need to get better at actually branching out and trying new things, but, like, the new games that I play are... Oh my goodness, he is dash dancing! Those were incredible footsies. That neutral game is to be admired. That still went pretty fast, but wow, I just got danced on. This is the final area. You can tell because it's the final area, and it looks like it. But yeah, amazing music in this game, and this I feel like is the catchiest track for me. I mean, I get all the tracks in this game, just like kind of doing a revolving door and being stuck in my head. I don't know how he avoided being stunned and knocked me down, but it is what it is. I got knocked... I also forgot that they explode when they die, and so I got knocked down again, and I'm at half health, but thankfully there is going to be... some items outside this room that I can use to heal myself and get my super meter back up. You'll be here and there, getting ready to stream here later. Sounds awesome. What are you gonna stream? If you don't, feel free to not answer that if you're gonna be spending time setting up. Now these guys are here again. They have an amazing ranged attack, and they always perfectly position themselves to not get hit by you, but hit you with the ranged attack. So these guys can be pretty annoying to fight. I'm praying that they all stay together so I can hit them at the same time and not let them get desynced to hit me. And that was mostly amazing. Just one guy got away. That's a really good Cyber Pankake fight. I could have used my super attack for it, and I'm wondering if maybe I should have, because they have a lot of health. River City Rival Showdown or Warriors Abyss. Sick. Either would be super cool. And yeah, I don't think I've seen a River City Rival Showdown speedrun on speedrun.com, which is something to think about. Just in general. I need to actually freaking play that game. I think you gave it to me years ago on Steam, and I have not played it yet because I'm a silly little boy. And that's the sort of thing I'm talking about. Like that, when I talk about, I don't know, like I'll probably just look the game up instead of actually checking it out, because I'm bad at actually playing video games, as it turns out. Even like a game from my favorite franchise of all time was passed along to me, God, I don't know, 7 or 8 years ago, and I haven't touched it yet. I haven't even touched the River City Girls games yet, and that's been sitting around for years now on my desktop. That's just the sort of... I do a lot of other things in my life other than playing video games in general, and the video games I do play tend to be, like, ones that I play all the time. It'd be a rough run because it's time-based, but you can manipulate the time with items. Oh, interesting. And that sounds fun, Ice, yeah. Oh, and my control stick did the thing again, so I haven't gotten through my head yet in this, at this point, that I should probably stop using the control stick that keeps on flinging me into directions I don't want to be flung, and I can just use the D-pad instead. Eventually, spoilers, I will figure it out, don't worry. But yeah, we're just going to find the green doors because that's where you actually need to go. This entire area, everything looks the same, and it's very confusing the first time you play. You never know if you're actually making progress. But I was able to figure it out, thankfully. And now I have a full meter, so I'm probably going to use it against these guys. I'm going to make sure they're not in their invincibility, and I just prefer them to be together while it's happening. I don't know, it just makes me feel better. So I'm gonna wait one more time, and now, or no. Oh, okay, I think I'm saving the super for Linksy. Because these guys, their health bars go down pretty quickly in general. And the Linksy fight, I saw how fast the Nubus, don't worry. I saw how fast the Nubus fight can go. And I feel like the Linksy fight is the longest fight in the game now, so... Well, but aside from another spoiler, the frickin' final boss that's coming up. It's the slowest normal boss fight in the game. But I'm not sure. I'm not so sure now, looking at this. Righty did still take a while to go down. I wonder if it's actually most effective to use the super against these guys, because it deals the most damage to them. Yeah. I'm curious to see what I did in the run after this. So this run was done yesterday, and there's another run coming up after this that I did this morning. And that'll round out all the pre-recorded runs. So let's see if I can execute the same strategy that I did earlier to absolutely body Anubis. Yeah, okay, already not going as well. I'm saving my super, which I also used during the other Anubis fight. For some reason, he's just not going into his kicks when I'm expecting him to. I don't know if the timing is right. I think I'm just getting the timing wrong every time, and now I'm failing on my dashes, and so now I'm going to my old strategy and panicking and missing the timing. He has so much invincibility when he does the tiny little kick, and so if you're just a tiny bit slow, then it just ruins everything, and you can't hit him at all, because he gets full invincibility for the entire move after that. Okay, now I'm getting back into the groove a little bit. Let's try and finish this out. Yeah, that's way better. I lost like 15 seconds at least. Oh, but I missed my dash, and I missed my dash. Okay, thankfully I didn't get punished that time. But he's so close. Let's just not choke at the end. Let's just not choke at the end. Oh, no. We're choking at the end. We are really, really choking at the end. Okay, that's 15-ish seconds lost in that Nubis refight. Ouch. And I'm not exactly sure what my pace is now because I had missed a split in the run previous, and so I'm not sure if I'm on sub 50 pace or not. And that's like the big goal that I'm trying to do with this game. I'm trying to complete it. Okay, yeah, that did deal a lot of damage to him. That's going to speed up the fight significantly. So that wasn't a bad save of the super, but I'm wondering if there is a boss in particular that it's best for. But anyway, yeah, like... The game has not been, as far as I know, ever been completed in less than 50 minutes yet, and so that's one of the big goals that I'm going for here. But yeah, this Linksy fight is one of the things about this game that is, yeah, a little bit... You see all the boss fights are completely and perfectly exploitable, and this one is the most egregious because all you have to do is stand there and just hit him with the same attacks. I literally take one hand off of the controller to take drinks of my water during the Linksy fights with all the characters. Every single character can just do that to him in different ways. But Maki, you can just use your regular attacks. We are 2.5 minutes ahead. Oh my goodness, it's going to be close. We are on pace to be 3 seconds off of sub 50. So we have to nail this final fight. gotta do it quicker than I've ever done it before. We have no possible time save on the first phase of the fight. And when I say first phase, I mean just the first third, because when you say the word phase, you kind of get the impression that there are going to be parts of the fight where things actually change. That is not the case in this boss fight. This is just a very, very, very long final boss battle. Also, we're going to go Super Saiyan again. And this time we're going to stay that way, but don't worry. It's not going to change anything about us. We have no gameplay changes, no extra damage, no new moves. It's just in a visual thing, and it's just there to kind of be a story thing. And it's cute. I give this game kind of the benefit of the doubt in all things, and I'm trying the strategy that I just discovered at the end of the last run, where I'm trying to use the invincibility of my breaker to avoid damage, but it's not really as foolproof as I thought, because the timings of the hand slaps change, and so I'm just going to go back to my old strategy after having lost time starting this fight, which is not exactly a good thing when you're trying to barely scrape out a sub 50. Uh-oh, not a good start. So now I'm just going to try out some different things. I know that I've just really shot myself in the foot, so I'm also going to try, instead of just doing my regular normal attacks, I'm trying my special attacks as well. You have normal attacks and special attacks and super attacks in this game, and your normal attacks and special attacks are just there at all times to use with different buttons. And my normal attacks with Maki are by far the fastest combo attacks in the game, and the special attacks are much slower, but they're slightly stronger. And so I'm just trying to experiment with different things and see if I can squeeze out any time, which I still, after having started the fight so poorly, I did squeeze some time out of the first phase. So it must not have gone well in the world record before this with Maki. And now we are 2 seconds off of sub 50. But I remember this second phase going very well in the splits I'm running against, and so once again we've got to really be on our game here. And I should have used my breaker. That would have been a perfect time to try the breaker attack, because the breaker attack has extended invincibility, and I should have used it there, and I'm really brain farting here. But this is a difficult fight to avoid damage with. Like, even if you think you used your invincible attacks at a perfect time, you can still get, like, weird frame things happen exactly like that, where I avoided damage and then got hit by the end of the move. And sometimes, even if you use it at the very last possible moment, you can still get hit by something weird. It's really weird trying to avoid damage in this fight. But this is, like, I've tried a lot of different things. I've tried using the super moves. I've tried using a bunch of different attacks. I've tried several different strategies. There's nothing you can bring into this fight other than those things. I'm pretty sure this is just the only amount of speed that you can complete this fight in, and I have unfortunately just lost almost 10 seconds. Sub 50's not looking so good anymore, but we have one more phase left to go. Maybe I can somehow save 10 seconds and just barely squeeze this thing out. We are, on the bright side, pretty comfortably on overall world record pace. This is on pace to beat the 50-minute and 59-second run that Tincho just did in the run that I showed previous to this one. So I am pretty guaranteed here, as long as I don't do some terrible, terrible stuff, to complete this game faster than it has ever been completed, known at this time, with any character. But the sub 50 would be really nice. That's the goal right now. I have already taken one death, and so I can't do the deathless run here. But this is the other part of the game where it's difficult to keep a deathless run, as you can see. But I am doing a decent job not taking any hits in this final phase. I'm managing to avoid that hit as well. Okay, the final phase is going well, but is it good enough? I'm looking at the timer a lot right now, and that might have gotten... No, that didn't get me hit there. That was... Oh, but now... Oh, wow, okay. Now it's not going super cleanly, and I got hit there by the jankiness. Right as he's at the really low health. Did that ruin it? Did I lose focus just enough? Time is not until the screen fades to black, and then it fades back into a cutscene. It's over! And... time. It is actually over. So close. I could have done like a channel points redemption. Or a prediction to see if people... That would have been fun. I don't know. I forgot to do that. My bad. But that is... Maka is very amused by this, by the way. I didn't notice that before. But yeah, those are the other two characters you can use. The big guy right there is the guy who had the overall world record before this run just completed. 54 seconds faster. So Maki and Tencho, the big guy, are not too far apart in how fast they can complete the game. And also, the damsel in distress has beheaded many robots. She seems to have a thing with that or something. Or, I don't know. But she saved herself. That's what the whole game was about. We came across the entire world to save her, but she didn't need saving. The otter girl with the headphones is Maka. She's way, way slower to complete the game with, which is funny because she's supposed to be the agility character, the speedy character, and the big guy is supposed to be the slow character. But the big guy is like 15 minutes at least faster than the speedy character because this game, when you about completing it quickly, is all about dealing as much damage as possible at all times. And that otter girl, who is in front running because she's the speedy one, just cannot deal damage quickly at all with any of her attacks. Her regular attacks, her special attacks, and her super. Her super is probably the worst in the game. It takes the longest. It has the least amount of range. And the only thing it has going for it is that it can hit people in multiple waves, not just the wave that is present whenever you start using it. That's the only advantage it has. But also, it comes with the horrible fact that she can easily be hit out of it. I don't think they actually intended for that to happen, based on a big glitch that can happen whenever Tencho can sometimes have it happen to him. But yeah, she's just, she's like hard mode, which is, you know, there's value to that, but she's by far the worst for speedrunning. But we've got one more run coming up here, and I can adjust a few things for this. The screen is gonna go Adora for a second. Hey Adora. Hashtag Hey Adora. I'm gonna take this overlay away. I'm going to take... Let's see. Yeah, I'm gonna keep the chat. And now I'm gonna bring up this. Which thankfully did not spoil you of the final time. So maybe now I can do a channel points prediction. Maybe now I can have you guess what this next full run's completion time will be. I need to turn the game way down. I'm sorry. I forgot that this video was going to be at a different... But now the sound alerts and redemptions and everything are going to be at the proper volume, so there's that, thankfully. Now I don't have to destroy people's ears. That's very nice. Let's set up a prediction. It's been a while since I've done one of these. What minute mark? What minute mark will the next run finish at? That's perfect! 45 characters out of 45. Speaking of 45, that'll probably be one of the options. .46. And meanwhile, we'll probably have a few stops and starts in the background. We're gonna have a lot of options here, and it'll be open for 5 minutes. We're gonna have this prediction open for 5 minutes. What minute mark will the next run finish at? sub 45, 45 minutes, 46 minutes, 47 minutes, 48 minutes, 49 minutes, or we barely miss sub 50 again. We have a 5-second window to work with for that to happen with a new personal best, a new world record. I'm gonna leave that up to you. And now we're gonna get into the run that I did this morning. Maki Paw of Fury using the main character Maki. I came in with a few new ideas. I was wondering if I could find any new faster ways to do regular hits to enemies. I know that these enemies are still fine to use my regular 4-hit standard combo with. Man, I love the music in this game. Gorgeous art. As the game self-promotes, it has lovely animations, I think. But yeah, I decided to start out using a super very early because it's going to be replenished quite early on. And the most important one to use basically in the entire game, but especially this entire stage, is the room with the bridge. With a lot of high health enemies, and just a lot of enemies in general. That's the place where a super attack saves the most time, and so starting pretty much now, I'm going to be saving my super for a while. And here's already an enemy that has higher health. And so now I'm starting to experiment with my special attack. I'm seeing if knocking enemies upward instead of knocking them away with the last hit of my regular attack is more optimal. And once I get to the enemies that more frequently have more health, then I'm going to start actually being able to note that. Like here. Yep, that looks better. So instead of me having to knock them to the side and follow them across the screen, I can just stay right there, planted right in front of them. Yep, let's keep doing that. So I'm still kind of labbing out the game as I do runs. This is still very early on in me playing the game at all, and because I seem to be the only person speedrunning this, this is very early on in the game's speedrunning history. And I used my breaker attack there because that guy was going to surround me. I should have probably just walked to the other side of this guy, but right now yeah, like that, exactly like that. But right now I'm kind of like, I'm seeing red. Okay, this is the stage the part of the stage I was saving my super for. The guys with the signs have a ton of health. And so we just completed that wave way faster than normal. And maybe I just found an even faster combo there. I wonder if I registered that in the moment. That's by far the fastest we've ever done the first split into the first minigame, the free-falling minigame. But yeah, thank you all. I'm glad you enjoyed the ending of the last run. I love that you were holding your breath. I hope that you didn't do that literally and cause yourself to nearly pass out. But I'm glad it seemed like you all enjoyed that final fight. And hopefully we'll get there again soon. And much sooner than we ever have before. So that we can complete a big new world record. It looks like the prediction is still going. We've got 50 carats, 50 channel points on that being a 47 for the next run, 50 channel points on it being a 48. Looks like you got about another minute to decide if anybody wants to join in on that. Yeah, watch out for bees. And make sure when you're falling tens of thousands of feet that you have a leaf with you, or a lily pad or something green. As long as you have a green object, you will survive. And now we can refill our health and our super meter a little bit. Second main part of the first stage, and now we got a nice sunset background. Now that I'm not playing the game and having to focus on every single enemy and so many different aspects of what each enemy can do and where they're at and if they're flanking me and how desynchronized all their attacks are, like what the situation is right now. Now I can actually kind of look at the game and appreciate the art and the backgrounds and everything, and it's just so nice looking, I think. You got the cherry blossoms, you got the beautiful sunset, you got the mountains, like a lot of nice layers of just well done art. And I'm starting to get bodied here. And so it's already starting to look kind of bad for my deathless bid, because one of my main goals with this game, like, I've got two main goals with this run right here. Sub 50 on the timer, and no deaths. And again, with Maki, it's much more difficult to do than I did with Tinsho. I was able to do a deathless run with the tank character Tinsho, but he takes a lot less damage. Even though he's slower and can't avoid attacks as well, he can still use a lot of invincibility with his breaker attack, which is longer than Maki's. And so I was still able to avoid a lot of damage with him, and he doesn't take nearly as much. And so Maki goes down a lot faster. Thankfully, I got to the health, and so we're not dying in the first stage yet. That can definitely happen in the boss fight in the second phase, because it is really, really hard to avoid all the falling spiked balls. But we're not there yet. We've got a bunch of dark foxes, which the game advises you not to feed. That's okay. I will just slap them around instead. Yeah, they have a cool not death animation, because one of the selling points of this game is the fact that very clearly and evidently and explicitly, none of the enemies are actually dying, which is something I took great lengths to constantly say during my AGDQ run of Rough City. I'm sure they're all just having fun. Nobody's actually getting seriously hurt here. In this game, I can say that and have it be backed up by what the game is actually presenting. But here's the boss fight against Mapu, somebody who has apparently betrayed us, who has like grown up with us in this little homeland area. And he has portals and goggles. And that's great. And I am on the exact opposite side of the screen from where he is. He is as far right as he could be, and I was pretty freaking far left, so that's a bit of a time loss, and it makes me feel a bit silly. But whatever, we'll just get back on track. And I hadn't used my super attack yet, so I decided to use it there, and that did a decent amount of damage. It's funny, the super attack seems to do the least amount of damage to the first boss in the game, compared to all the bosses after that. Now his health is low enough that he's going to start spawning those giant spiked balls. And they have, and the falling Sega systems as well, they have enormous hitboxes, especially up and down. It's basically impossible to not get hit by at least one, and probably like 10. And so it's very easy to die in this boss fight, and it makes doing a damageless run of this game pretty much unfeasible entirely. And there are many parts of the game where it makes damageless feel pretty tough to think of being possible. I mean, of course it's technically possible. A task could do it. But that's Mapu. And we're probably about to save a lot of time. That was a fairly clean Mapu fight. We are 36 seconds ahead after the first stage. That's a lot more than what I was expecting, so my new combos seem to be doing a good job, and we seem to have a very clean Mapu fight. I did get hit very rarely at the second half, but even then, I still have half health here. So we need to be careful starting this stage, and I love how it cycles into a sprite of Maka whenever you land there, just for a frame. We got some pankakes here starting out, and they're a bit unpredictable. They may seem like they're not that scary because they don't really pay attention to you all that often, but when they do, it's very sudden, and they could be anywhere in the screen when they suddenly pay attention to you, and that means they could be perfectly flanking you with other enemies already attacking you. So Pankake is the first enemy that you see in the game. I assume that's how you pronounce their name, which sounds vaguely explicit in a way, but anyway, they can be some of the most frustrating enemies in the game, and the ones that put you in the worst situations. And now we have the new pink enemies, who the name just flashed on the screen, but I just missed it. I call them like, they're kind of like the Zazie enemies, I guess. They're very pink, and they can sometimes hit you with bees, but they are, again, somewhat docile, and they don't hit very hard. Kotota. Okay, Kotota. That's what they're named. I hadn't actually ever read the name fully before. They're also new to this area. They're not that big of a deal, thankfully. They don't usually have a ton of health, and when they do, they're not going to really make you pay for it. But in this game in general, Isabelle, the snakes can appear pretty much anywhere in the game, and I like to go after them very early on in the waves because they spend a lot of time underground like that. You have to wait for them before you can take them out. They cannot die before they pop their heads out of the ground. So I go after them first, and then while they're busy being underground, then I can take care of the other enemies. And so that feels like the most optimal way to deal with waves where Isabelle is present. Now there are 3 of them, and so I'm probably just gonna, I'm just gonna take my time, go try and get the other Isabelle over to me. Nice, I was able to also do some crowd control with my breaker, and take out the Isabelle at the same time. And there's the wave, the wall of pink. I messed it up. It's not the wave of pink, it's the wall of pink. It makes me feel so good every single time I see it. And that time I was actually able to save my super attack for it. I figured that would be a good place for me to actually save my super attack and use, because that's I think the point in this stage where we see the most enemies, and so that probably saves the most time. Oh, I accidentally, okay, we're fine. Yes, okay, so I have discovered something very important at this point. I have gone beyond that combo that I found at the beginning of this run, where I did 2 hits with my normal moves, and then 2 hits with the special move to knock enemies up, which seemed like a pretty effective combo, and it was. I found something much better. I found an incredibly fast infinite. I don't even have to knock the enemies upward, and I don't even have to wait for any cooldown on the animations. I can do 3 hits with my regular attacks, and then 1 hit with the special attack, and then go back to 3 hits with the regular attack, 1 hit with the special, rinse and repeat. It is a super fast infinite just like that. Holy moly. Look at how fast I mow them down. And so midway through this run, 9 runs into doing runs with Maki, I have found what I believe is now the bread and butter of fighting in this game as Maki, if you want to do it quickly. You can play this game any way you want. It's incredibly forgiving. I believe it was marketed as a game that can be a very entry-level beat-em-up, and it definitely plays like one. Again, like the way that you can completely... Like, the only boss fight that you can't completely solve in every way is the first one in the game, which is very odd. And I guess the final boss, in a way. Everybody else, you can just kind of completely turn into nothing. You can't even let them do anything. Speaking of not doing anything, I am doing nothing but biff this part, and that's a horrendous spawn. It looked like I could go below that statue, but yeah, too bad. Thankfully, my super meter is full right now, and that's very important. That's like the thing that I want most coming out of this stage. I don't think you can actually lose this race, but you can get hit a lot, as I have been, and you can end it with a very low super meter. I'm pretty sure it's pure luck what things can spawn in those rooms, in those minigames, and when they spawn. I got a lot of the rocky areas that I had to roll over right at the end, and so when I had to roll over them, which uses my super meter, and so I ended it not being able to use a super for a while in this part of the stage now. Sounds great, Ice. I'll definitely be checking that out if I can. I won't be up too much longer, but I'll definitely be checking out. If I can't hang out for long while you're live, then I'll definitely be checking out the VOD for quite a bit of it. Thank you so much. Enjoy the lurk, and best of luck with all the setting up. But now we're in the second half of the beach stage, and again, something unique about this game and the way it does a beach stage, which is a very common thing in games and a very common thing in media in general, they decided to do a beach stage at nighttime. Usually it's a very bright and sunny beach atmosphere. They decided to go with a cool and dark beach atmosphere, which makes me wonder if the developers have had nice experiences at the beach at night, which made them really want to create that environment here. You got really cool things. They made the most of it artistically. Look at all the little things that are lit up in the background and in the foreground. And speaking of the foreground, you see there are palm trees in the foreground, and sometimes that really gets in the way. That is one of the knocks that you can have against this game, is that sometimes you can't see what's going on because of the foreground objects. But thankfully, I don't think that ever really gets in my way during this run. Yeah, really nice lighting in all these areas, and as usual, a pankake in this level just has to walk off the side of the screen after being right next to me for 10 seconds, and then be unhittable for at least 5 seconds. We are doing a speedrun. It may not look like it at all times, but we are trying. That seemed like a pretty good wave to use the super on. Sometimes I forget... Oh, well, I only remember some waves of the game up to this point, and plan them out accordingly for my super meter. But a lot of the game I'm still very new to, so I don't remember exactly every single wave that's coming at this point. And so sometimes I'll deal regular hits to enemies as a wave is starting, and then I notice, wait, there are a ton of enemies appearing right now. I should use my super attack. And that's what happened there. So I do not have my super attack for the lefty and righty fight, which it might cause me to lose time here. We'll see. We'll see just how much better my regular attacking combo, or see how much better this new attacking combo is compared to the regular attacking combo. If I'm still gonna save time here to... Oh, wait. Well, sometimes the words I say have any meaning because they're actually true. And sometimes I say things that are just so clearly disproven by what is on the screen that it's something that I try to play for comedy, to try to play off. Hopefully that was funny. Anyway, I did have my super meter full, and so I'm not going to be losing time at all here. In fact, I'm going to be saving 30 seconds, because that fight went really quickly. Despite the fact that it took me a while to remember that I should actually be using my regular hitting combo to actually knock one of the guys forward into the other guy so I could get them together, so I could hit them at the same time. Now we've got, by far, in my opinion, the hardest stage in the game. This is the place where I died in the run prior to this. This is the biggest challenge to deathless runs of this game, in my opinion. Because we have new enemies that are going to be popping out of the ground to shoot us from all the way across the screen, those gopher guys. We have the new penguin enemies, which, it may not look like it, but they are some of the hardest hitting enemies in the entire game, and they hit you quickly. If you get within their range, you are going to get hit before you know it, and so you have to be prepared. And it's very easy. You notice I'm not running far into the screen like I usually do. I usually run all the way to the other edge and maximize the speed of Maki. But in this stage, usually if you try to run all the way to the right when the stage stops you, you're gonna run right into the arms of those penguins, the very powerful and strong and not loving arms of the penguins, and they'll just annihilate you. And that was a good use of the super. We're gonna have an even bigger wave coming up in later in the stage, and I'm gonna be painstakingly saving a super for that part as well. That was a pretty good use of the super. So far, my super uses in this run have been pretty good, I think, and that's one of the reasons why we're saving time. This game, again, like I said, I think at the end of the last run, this game is all about dealing as much damage as possible to as many enemies as possible at all times. It's not just about choosing a character that can move quickly like Maka. Maka is 15 minutes slower than the next slowest character, Tinsho, because she is so bad at dealing damage. She has decent range, but the attacks themselves just aren't dealing enough damage. And her super attack doesn't have very much range either. It's the worst super attack in the game. And Tinsho is good at dealing damage, even though he's way slower for moving. He makes up for that by being able to take out enemies quickly, which is what completing the game quickly is all about. There are so many enemies in this game, and the sooner you take them all out, the faster the game goes. It's very simple, just like the game itself. And so that's why I'm saving so much time by saving my supers for the right moments when it's going to take out the most enemies, or the strongest enemies, or both. And why creating this new super fast infinite combo using the first 3 hits of the regular attacks and the 1 hit of the special attack is saving me so much time compared to the run that I just showed before this. And so we're looking really good, at least, for sub 50. When I wasn't sure, after the night before this, if I was going to be saving more than, like, 10 seconds in my next personal best after it. But just finding that new infinite combo was a gigantic deal, and we have no idea just how much more time it's going to save for the rest of the game. And now we've got these Dark Foxes. Just, I hate this. That's maybe one of my least favorite spawns in the entire game, just with that one Dark Fox all the way on the top of the screen, way away from everybody else, and they're all desynchronized, throwing wrenches at you, or spoons, I guess. I think they're spoons. I don't have the spoons to identify it correctly. And now I'm saving my super again and getting shot and knocked down because that's inoptimal and sometimes I'm not perfect. I'm definitely saving my super now. There are times when I could be using it, but I know there's a wave coming out. This one. That's the wave I was saving it for. And you could probably tell why. That was a lot of penguin boys. That was so many penguin boys, and I am not doing well with... Okay, so I think I was knocked down by the sheer malice of one of the enemies there. I didn't see anything contact me. I'm pretty sure that was just spiritual power. Spiritual energy itself, which is impressive. Maybe the enemies in this game are scarier than I realized. Maybe this game is actually difficult and is possessed by demons. But it's alright because I'm on a mission from God. So I will succeed. And there will be good music along the way. And this game makes sure to provide that. I hope everybody's enjoying so far. Thank you all for being here. Hopefully any of this makes sense. And hopefully the gameplay is decent to watch. But that was a pretty good wave to use the super for. Lots of giant waves in this area. Like, it's for me, it's not even close how much harder this stage is compared to the other ones. Like, we have two main stages coming after this one, and this is the stage that has the biggest wave. This is the stage that has the waves where the enemies are the most desynchronized and the most powerful. Like, these penguins are a big deal. They look so unassuming, but they are so strong, and there are so many of them. And then the pankakes can perfectly surround you and desynchronize, and then the gopher enemies can hit you from a mile away. Everybody's desynchronized, everybody has different AI, and it just feels like everybody is here and everybody hates you. And so far, I'm by far closest that I've ever been to getting through this stage deathless. And if I get through this stage deathless, I feel like I have a chance at completing the game deathless. And it would be the first time that I know of that it's been done with Maki. Thankfully, the game triggered the cutscene there. I have had a moment in this game in the next level after this where the game took a very, very long time to realize that it wanted to actually trigger a cutscene. I had to go far and wide to find the trigger for it, and I was a little worried in that moment, but thankfully, I got through, and now we're in the only time-sensitive minigame. Oh, no! Okay, I saved it. Whew. We're in the only minigame in the entire game that is not an auto-scroller. That's all execution to finish as fast as possible. And I was not as fast as possible there. I lost a little bit of time. And also, I do not have a super attack to use against Lynxie here. So I might lose a bit of time in this split. I used my super attack to end the last wave outside, which might have been inoptimal. It allowed me to save 1 minute and 11 seconds over the previous split in the last world record, and so that snow stage was no joke in terms of completing it quickly. That's the second time I've used that joke this stream, and I did it almost without shame, but now the shame is absolutely coursing through me. Actually, not as much as it may have sounded. We're fighting Lynxie, by the way, and we're doing it without a super because I used it at the end of the last stage, and that definitely helped me complete that part quickly, but we're probably going to trade it for time loss here. But we are almost 3 minutes ahead at this point, and not anymore. Yep, there comes the time loss, but it's probably not going to be too bad. We're getting close to the end of the fight here, and once again, you can see that Lynxie, you can just completely drench in hits and knockdowns with Maki's normal attacks, and there's nothing he can do about it. We can't even run away from our sins. We can't run away from the just absolute domination we've done to this man. But of course, we didn't actually win because the cutscene said so. But you know what else the cutscene said? Dragon Ball Z. And this is to go even further beyond. So... if you're wondering what happens after that, so am I. Because after that scene, we're just suddenly in the desert of Khan! Where the myth tell us of legend of emperors and dogs. What secrets the sands hide in them. Maybe one of those secrets is what the hell happened after he went Super Saiyan while Linksy was standing there, and now we're suddenly in the desert. So I'm maybe turning Super Saiyan, like, accidentally teleported him because he was so angry that he just became in a different part of the world. But it's fine, like, it doesn't matter to me. It just, whatever happens in this game just happens because it just feels like it, and I don't really need an explanation. This game is just trucking along, and I accidentally did a regular combo there and knocked him far away, and so that wasn't very optimal. But now we're in the desert, which, again, to me, is just a massive step down in difficulty. We have made it through the snow level deathless. And so now I feel like I have a chance to actually go deathless, and I'm glad you're having fun, White Wolf. I'm very glad. Thank you so much. Thank you, everybody. But the Deathless challenge is definitely not done and dusted yet, because the final boss could absolutely kill me. And we are a ways away from that. We're about halfway through the game here. Linksy is basically the perfect halfway point. And we are 2.5 minutes ahead. And I almost just got bitten there. This is a slightly strange situation. I was facing left there, and so my hits were going just slightly out of the actual combo starting part of the hitbox. I could be using my supers here, but I'm not feeling like these are the best waves to do it, because we have a lot of the gopher enemies, and those go down in one hit. And also the new enemies, the hot llamas, just an absolutely god-tier name, also do not have very much health, and so I'm kind of sitting on a super for a long time here, and maybe I don't need to, and so I'm going to use it here. That's probably not the worst usage of it, but like any of these two waves would probably be fine. And I got bodied by a bullet again. And again, I feel like there's a glitch with the bullet hits, where sometimes you can get hit by them twice if you do a dash at a certain time, and oh my god, I tried to get that super increasing item, and it was just out of reach because now the screen wanted to scroll, and so now I'm only at half super, and I could have opened it up during that fight and actually gotten it, but now I don't get it, and I also wasted time trying to get it, and so that feels bad. But we'll try to pretend that we're not going to cry ourselves to sleep over it tonight, and we're just going to ride a sandboard instead. And yeah, this is the... I love the pose that all the characters have and all these... They put so much love and care to every single aspect of this game visually, and all the characters have great poses when they're riding the... I forget the name of the animal that they're riding, but they rode it in the beach stage. And when they're riding the skateboards, when they're doing the tricks, when they're doing the jumps. And there were a lot of jumps in this quick succession there. That was interesting luck, because I believe this is all... Armadillo! Thank you, the giant armadillos. I love having people who are interested enough to pay attention. Thank you! Oh, it feels so good. The giant armadillos, Tincho especially, has an incredible pose when he's riding that thing. He looks great. And now we're in the second half of the desert here. There's, again, lots of enemies with low health here, and I can't really... Like, it's better to prioritize... It's the one situation where it's better to prioritize the enemies other than Isabelle when the gophers are there, because you see what happens whenever I am not taking care of them immediately. I get shot and I fall down and then I can't hit people. Love it. So many sceneries which have beautiful details. I fully agree. It's just absolutely such a lovingly crafted game visually. A lot of people knock this game a lot. This game gets a pretty bad rap, and you see how simple and easy the gameplay is. There's not a lot to it, and the bosses don't really work, and there are some big glitches that can really cause problems, but I just find it so fun to play. I don't know if I already said in this playthrough or the last one, but this reminds me of what I love about playing Downtown Special and speedrunning that game, because I just get to run around and try and get to people as fast as possible and group them together and then hit a button a lot of times and smack them around. That is just so satisfying to me. I feel like all the sounds are on point. Again, if they're basic, that's not a problem to me because maybe it's partially because I haven't grown up playing traditional beat-em-ups. I've grown up playing the Kunio games, and those are most of the fighting games that I've played, along with like Melee and stuff. So beat-em-ups are not usually games that I've played in my life. God, I love my infinite combo that I've developed. But I just think this game is satisfying to play, especially in a speedrunning standpoint. Oh, I'm on fire! We're fine. I'm on fire! Shoutouts to Sherlock. Anyway, yeah, video games. I don't play this type of video game that often, but it's kind of funny. The two beat-em-ups, the two more traditional beat-em-ups that I've gone to in the last, like, 6 months or so, Rough City and this game, are much more straightforward and easy to simplify than a lot of beat-em-ups, especially these days. And the beat-em-ups of old, the more traditional beat-em-ups that a lot of people grew up on and a lot of people remember and a lot of people will kind of archetype the genre around, if you can use archetype as a verb, are ones from the 90s and the 80s and like arcade-style ones that are just so cruel. And this game is the opposite. This game wants you to just absolutely dominate it. It gives you so many lives. You can die a lot in this game, but you don't get punished for it really at all. But I really... And the story of this game is kind of nonsensical and also... like, well, not... It's not nonsensical, again, in a way that I feel like it has to be punished for, because you don't have to take it seriously. You don't have to think that it has to have 0 plot holes and everything has to be so inordinately and exquisitely explained. No, characters just suddenly end up in new areas across the world for no reason. Sometimes Maki just goes actually Super Saiyan for no reason and does nothing with it that we can actually see. And that's just Maki Paw of Fury, and that doesn't bother me at all. I just find it charming. But also, the text in this game can kind of go way too freaking quickly. There's a cutscene at the beginning of this game that I skip. You can't read any of what they're saying because it just goes by immediately when you're not even advancing the text. So that is one knock that I had in my first playthrough. But if you play the game enough, then eventually you can kind of piece together what's happening a little bit. And now we're also in like a pyramid type area. Even though it didn't look like a pyramid outside, we have lots of like Egyptian drawings on the walls and stuff. And oh, I just noticed on that wall there's actually a flash for there's a nod, a bit of what's it called? Foreshadowing to what we're about to see with the boss. That wall is an indication of that we're about to head into. So many words that I just said that all mostly mean the same thing. And Maki doing such a relatable thing. One of the most relatable tropes. There's Nubis! And in my last run that I just showed before this one, I discovered a way to absolutely dominate this guy, and it's so satisfying. It feels so good. First, so when he does that little pitiful little sweeping kick thing, it looks so bad, but he's actually invincible the entire time it's out, and he can just link it endlessly into endless invincibility, like this. But if you're fast enough, you can hit him in between the kicks, and if you do a dash attack, it puts him into a stunned state immediately. And then you can just wail on him, and you can just do that combo that I discovered, and he's done. I really wish I could have that blue fish and restore some of my super, but it's all okay because we did that fight just fine, and we are 3 minutes and 14 seconds ahead of sub 50. Well, 3 minutes and 9 seconds ahead of sub 50 pace, which feels nice. But we've got a lot of stuff to go, and there's a lot of variance that could happen here, and I've got a lot that I need to actually execute. We've got Techno Island coming up. Who knows? Zazie described this earlier, something about Blade Runner. Yeah. This is also beautiful. Unfortunately, we can only see the outdoors for just this one room, but it's pretty amazing looking once again. Yeah, dead times, 0. A funny thing that I brought up when the first run, well, I think before the first run that finished of this stream started, that's a lot of strange words in a strange order. I talked about, I think in this run, how one of the selling points is that the enemies don't actually get hurt so much that they freaking die on screen and disappear. They actually get away. But at the end of each stage, you notice how it talks about one of the stats being the amount of kills you get? I just find that so hilarious. And again, that's something that's very easily explained away. It's fine. It's called kills because that's the easy video game term. They're not actually dying, but they die, like, we call them kills the way we talk about killing Pokemon. In official Pokemon media, and the way I prefer Pokemon to be, they're not actually dying, they're just fainting, but it's easier and it's just more common to say dying and killing than it is to say fainting and KOing. But anyway, yeah, we just completed the first wave of a very confusing area here. When I did my first playthrough, this was another thing that I could easily actually understand as a knock on the game. This place, it's very difficult to know where you're supposed to be going and what you're supposed to be doing, but you just have to look for the green doors. That's where progress can be made in the game. I've gotten incredible luck from these Cyber Pankakes so far. They've all grouped together perfectly! Look at this! They usually don't do that at all! And I decided to go ahead and actually use my super, which had just finally charged up all the way, against the final 2 ones because they had a lot of health. I am not sure if that was the proper thing to do. That was just an idea I had from the end of the last run, because I just registered in my head that those were the enemies that had more health than these ones. And so I figured maybe it will save a bit more time to not have to run all the way back to the other Cyber Pankakes and then have to deal way more hits on them. Maybe it's fine to not use the super here, even though there are more enemies. It probably kind of evens out. I might have lost about 2 or 3 seconds by not using the super on that last wave of Robo-Kangaroos. It's hard to know, but in any case, we're still playing okay so far. That is the first segment of this area done. We are 3 minutes and 33 seconds ahead. 333 hype. These robots explode, but they're not alive, I guess. Oh yeah, where's the love for robots? Great point. That's actually, oh my goodness. Well, that shows you, that shows you what they think of robots as like beings. Maybe these robots are just not sentient, they don't consider them, I don't know. But clearly, they don't have respect for these beautiful crafts of person-like being things to count them as needing to not explode. Anyway, I'm still playing the game, and that went decently. It's really difficult to do that wave quickly unless you really save your super for that. But there are many different waves in that segment, and just all the enemies are left and right apart from each other. You have to run back and forth. Not much you can do about that. That's about as fast as it can go as far as I know. And now we've got boss refights! It's Mega Man now, and I did badly at the beginning of this fight, but that only costs a few seconds, and now I need to do my regular attacks to knock him gradually toward his best old friend. And by the way, I'm pretty sure these are like siblings of the character that we can use, Tincho. They look basically exactly the same. These are capybaras as well. I'm pretty sure Tincho's a capybara. I'm pretty sure that's how you pronounce capybara. Capybara. Anyway, we are still fighting. Lefty is done. Maybe Tincho's real name growing up was Ambi. I'm crafting some not Lefty lore. I'm crafting some Tincho lore. Maybe he really is the long-lost brother of Lefty and Righty, and he just didn't like the fact that Lefty and Righty went into a life like this, and so he disowned them and became his own man named Tincho instead of being Ambi. What is the commentary becoming in this stage? It's not like nothing is happening on the screen. This is one of the most eventful parts of the entire game. We're going back and forth literally between actual bosses. Speaking of, here is a place where I lost a lot of time in the run before this. Can I actually do this domination fight correctly this entire time? Can I hit all my dashes? And also, in the last run, you noticed I was having a lot of trouble with my character suddenly going a direction I didn't want them to face as when I was done moving, because I was using the control stick. This entire run, I switched to the D-pad, and now I'm nailing all of my dashes, I'm nailing all the timings, and Nubis is down. That is a massive time save, and that feels amazing, because I knew in a run that I wanted to kind of leave for a while to represent this game if I got a time good enough, I wanted to have a good Nubis fight at the end. I wanted to have 2 good Nubis fights, and I got 2 good Nubis fights. So now, there's a little bit more pressure on this run. I am also deathless. I am also on a pace that I'm not quite sure of, but I know that I want to nail the final boss and not feel like I left anything on the table. Can we get a deathless run that feels clean toward the end? So I used my super attack on lefty and righty, and so I did not have it for Nubis or for Linksy. I decided, I believe, in the last run to save it for Linksy, so we'll see if this ends up, like, making any noticeable dent on the time in either way. It probably won't. Like I said, it's hard to tell my decision made any difference with saving my super, not saving my super for the Robo Kangaroos. It's because I'm doing all the fights so much quicker with my new infinite combo. So it's gonna be hard. I'm gonna have to like actually take the videos side by side and compare them side by side to actually tell. But there goes Linksy. That's the last thing we have to do in this stage. But first, on the way out, I'm definitely going to grab full health to make sure that that's not going to cost me my deathless run. And also, I'm going to grab the blue fish and fill up my super meter because I didn't get the impression that it mattered a lot against the final boss to use the super attack, but I saw that it actually sped up the fight a lot when I was fighting as Tincho. And so I did not use, I believe, my super attack in my personal best that I'm running against as Maki. Maybe if I use it at the right time, it can deal a lot more damage. Because I noticed that it seemed to save a lot more time when I saved it for the second round when I used Tincho. And now we're going Super Saiyan, and we're actually going to stay Super Saiyan. And if you assume that this is going to make us more powerful or give us some new moves or let us fly or anything, no, this is still just regular Maki. He's just got a visual effect now. Cool! Anyway, the final boss, this takes just a very, very, very long time no matter what you do. I don't think there's any special strategy you can use. Okay, I could have used the super right there. I wonder if, like, it can deal more damage when both hands are down. I'm not sure. But I perfectly dodged their, both of the hands coming down at the same time by using my breaker attack, which is your best use of invincibility iframes during attacks in the entire game, especially if you're playing as Tincho. You get so much invincibility when you use his breaker. But that attack, the hitboxes are out for such a freaking long time, it feels like you use the breaker to dodge it at the right time, and you still get hit by the very end. That was a fast first wave because I'm using the super fast infinite combo. We have saved even more time. We are 4 minutes and 22 seconds ahead now. Goodness gracious. So now, if we keep on saving time at that pace, and we can get a good effect from our super attack, maybe we can even get a sub 45. The most optimistic option that I put in the prediction. Is it actually going to happen? I'm going to try and wait for both hands to go down at the same time again, like this, and use the super. So I pressed the button, and you saw my super meter went all the way down, and absolutely nothing happened. I've never seen that before. In the moment, I screamed, "What?" But thankfully I reacted quickly, and I just kept on wailing. I just kept on going, kept on dealing damage, got hit by the exact last frame of that attack again, even after it looked like I dodged it. Things are going normally, aside from the fact that the game just absolutely zeroed me out for no reason of my super attack. It said, "You used that?" No, you didn't. God knows how much faster that would have made the fight go, but it still was a nice second wave anyway, because I just kept going. We saved 9 seconds. Let's just keep going. Let's just keep fighting. Let's just focus, because I haven't taken much damage yet, and one of my biggest goals still is deathless, and that could change at any moment. If I lose focus, then I'm gonna take so many hits. Just keep on using as much as I can, as fast as I can. The 3 regular hits, then the 1 special. 3 regular hits, 1 special. 3 regular hits, 1 special. Maximum speed, maximum damage. Maximum getting hit by the last possible moment of that attack. Oh, goodness gracious. Not a super clean fight because of that, but it's still going much faster than it ever has gone before. Aside from when I used Tincho the first time and just nailed him with an actual super attack. Anyway, we're getting pretty close here. And I'm starting to get hit. We're not out of the woods yet, and the timer is approaching the 45-minute mark. We're probably not going to get sub 45. In fact, we're definitely not going to get sub 45. That's okay. It's not going to be so close that it feels really bad. Can I avoid damage here? Yay, it actually worked. I think part of it is positioning. If you're really far to one side and one fist is still sweeping to that side, like that, I was just barely off center to the left, and so I got hit. But thankfully, I finished that part of the wave to the right, which means I didn't have to watch Maki walk to that side, and this is the last part of the game. Time is now. That was not only a bigger personal best than I was ever expecting to get in this game again. That was a run that I'm pretty sure I'm fairly happy with leaving for now to represent this game with.
That feels pretty good. Kind of sucks that a glitch absolutely robbed me of my super attack right at the very end, but, that felt like a pretty solid run overall. Deathless, baby, with Maki. Nice.
You okay? You okay there, buddy?
Suddenly, I don't know what to say. As you can see. I was gonna say something about the cute cutscene happening behind me, but I forgot the name of the girl again, and I feel bad.
Kami!
But, she said we arrived late, and I don't know, 45 minutes doesn't seem that bad. So, I was wondering if I wouldn't have any more big PBs after I got the 50.05, I believe, was my previous best. But, that was an even bigger personal best than the one I got before this, to barely miss the sub 50. So, yeah, that new combo I just found during this run, the 3 hits of the regular combo, and then the first hit of the special moves, and then rinse and repeat, that seems to go pretty freaking fast. And that definitely, I think, takes Maki out of reach of Tincho for playing this game quickly. Sorry, Tincho. Sorry, Zazie. Fun. Speedrunning this game definitely adds a ton of fun to the overall experience of such an incredibly simple and easy game. Yeah, hope you enjoyed that. Thank you so much for watching. I'm pretty happy about that. Feeling good. Thank you.
And truly, thank you all so much for being here and for watching. Thank you again, White Wolf, for the raid. And I just remembered I should do a shout out. It takes me so much to remember that I should do that when people raid me. Thank you. I'm really honored that you also stuck around. Thank you for participating in the prediction as well. I hope you enjoyed that little aspect of it. I can now settle that. Did anybody? Nope, nobody voted for 45XX. But that was the result. We got a 45-15. Yep, that was the proper retiming. I saved those splits. Can you ask a silly question? Has there been a tattoo brought to my attention recently? Yes, there has. And that was a huge honor, if I'm remembering the correct one. And I actually was thinking about asking what brought you to my stream, what made you want to raid me. And now I think I can probably guess that it's Diminish. But yeah, are you the tattoo person? That's awesome. That's I hope if you already got it, I hope it came out exactly how you wanted. I hope you really like it. That's yeah, it's an incredible honor. Diminish is still going. The absurd wait times for Act 2 are partially intended. They weren't intended to be this freaking long, but now that it's happening, I'm kind of trying to allow myself to relish in the fact that basically only Unfiction allows me to have actual time skips where people have to wait this long. Share the photo in Discord. Awesome. Yeah, I'm gonna look that up. I'm gonna look for that because I am curious to see. Thank you so much, and yeah, thank you for watching this run. Thank you for supporting me in the chat during this watch back. That was definitely a huge boost. Really nice to have you all and have your kind comments. White Wolf and Lady Valeria. Thank you to everybody who was watching all of that. Thank you, Ice. Thank you, Zizy. Thank you, Jeff, Lucy, everybody lurking. It's always such an absolute treat to be here and to just to hit the start streaming button and just be able to chill with people. It's just such a joy and a treat and a privilege, and it's even more of a joy and a treat and a privilege, and something I hope I never actually take for granted. The fact that Diminish exists to the point that other people can be affected by it, to the point that they have a tattoo made related to Diminish. That's truly mind-blowing. It's hard to process, and I want to fully appreciate that and fully express my gratitude. For now, it's the perfect time to raid a good friend of the stream who I just mentioned, who was here earlier. This is one of those streams where it's hard to leave because I'm just loving so much what's happening here, and it's so nice to be here with people. But I want to pass on my support to Zizy, who is continuing a playthrough of not Gabriel Knight. It's Broken Sword 3, The Sleeping Dragon. And I hope there are actual dragons in this. That would be great. We've seen kind of like a spirit dragon in a vision at one point, so there's that. But yeah, thank you again for the raid, Right Wolf. Thank you again for the absolute honor of what you've done to your body. I'm not trying to encourage people to get tattoos by how grateful I am. I just want to make sure that it's clear that I think that's like a big deal. Thank you all for your support again, and I hope you all enjoyed that. And I will be back sometime soon with probably something other than this, I guess, because I've achieved a lot of things that I'm happy with this. Maybe Mega Man speedrun stuff, we'll see. Until then, I wish all of you the very best that life has to offer, and have a beautiful one. Yeah, thank you. Dream on, folks. Peace. Take care. Thank you.